Hey y'all, I'm Heather and welcome to my channel, The Debt Free Quilter. It's time for us tonight to talk about a very important part of a quilt's life. Now, we've all been there. We've got our blocks all together. We've assembled our rows. We've built the quilt top. We've added the borders. Now what? Time to look at backings. That being said, backings are expensive. You know that? I have gone down that rabbit hole and I have found backings up to $25 a yard for a 108-inch backing fabric. And for a 3-yard cut, that's $75. You realize that? That's on the high end. Granted, that's the high end. There are still good quality, excellent quality, lesser priced 108s out there, yes. But what I was talking about is just referring to the highest end of 108 backings. Up to $25 a yard. That's kind of bonkers. Granted, with inflation and everything, I understand why. But it's still quite a bit of money. So, what do we do? How do we back our quilts? Do we do a scrappy back? Yeah, sure. That's doable. You use up all the scraps from your project, making a piece back. Great! Save money too. You buy 40 to 44-inch yardage, of which I have some. This glows in the dark. It's so fun. And you piece it that way. Yeah, I'm gonna do one of those for one of these quilts. Or you go ahead and you buy the 108. Now, a while back, when I was still shopping at Soya, I've spent a lot of money at Soya. I got a deal, a 20.5-pound box of 108 backings. I got a dang good deal for like $200. Because I got a lot of backing. There was even some CAFE backing in there that I used on Numster Moon. Previous project. Go check it out. I'll link to that in the description box. But that wasn't all I got. Not even close. There were a lot of good backings in there. I still have some. I haven't been through all of them. But this is one. And here's another one that's really pretty. It's a greenish gray. It's a really pretty greenish gray. And then I have this one. Woohoo, this one. Great big flowers. In all kinds of crazy fun colors. But going back to my question, how do you back your quilts? Do you spring for the 108s? Do you make a piece back? Or do you buy regular yardage and piece back? What do you do? I'm fond of 108s because I don't have to piece it. And it's the price could be worse. That could be worse. Typically, if I'm buying a 3-yard piece of 108, I'm spending between $15 and $20 a yard. If I get it on sale and it's a little cheaper, great. I'm not going to hold my breath over it. If I need to piece it from regular yardage, I have no problem doing that. And I'll show you how in this video. If I'm making a scrappy quilt back, I may as well make another quilt and just slap it on the back and go. I've done that before too. That was before I started my channel. I actually made a double-sided trolls quilt for my daughter, my mignonette. And she loves that thing. She absolutely loves that thing. But that's beside the point. So, tell me, leave me a comment and tell me how you make your quilt backs. Because we're at that stage in the life of a quilt where we need to put a back on it. And I have 4 that I've just shown you what the backs are going to be. The next step after the backing is going to be the quilting. I'm planning to walking foot quilt all of these. I plan on pin basting, which you will also see in this video. It will not happen all at once, but we'll go on right along. Let's get started making this one into a quilt back. Ready? Set. Go. Making quilt backs, it can be fairly easy depending on how you're doing. With this one, I'm using the edge of my needle plate in order to gauge my seam. At the end of that, I will go back and cut off all that selvage because I don't need it. Now when I do this, I'm cutting my pieces to a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Ta-da! A quilt back. Here we go. Next one. This one, as I figured out real quick, was the end of a bolt. That was an end of bolt 3-yard cut. That, yes, I cut down a little bit more so that I wouldn't be completely overwhelmed trying to get the quilt pinned to this. But you'll see me with that spray bottle. All it has in it is plain tap water. And I'm using that to get out just the deepest, hardest creases that are stuck in this from being right up next to the cardboard bolt. Now I chose to do my pin basting on my dining table mostly because it's convenient and yeah, it means I'm not crawling around on the floor. Now I had my husband go to the store and buy me those clamps. They were a lifesaver. I really enjoyed basting at the table because as you can see I can get my arm up underneath all those layers and help get the pins through. Now, granted, these are new pins, and honestly, I should probably take and file a little bit off the point because they're a little rough and hard to get through, honestly. You really gotta finesse them sometimes. And as you can see, I started in the middle of the quilt and I worked my way to one side, and then I went and moved everything and did some more pinning away from me this time, still to try and keep all the fullness out of the middle. Now as you can see, I've moved it once again. I need to finish pinning on this side and pinning that border, and then I will pin the top border. At this point, I'm just pinning that top border. There was really no point in the clamps at this point because I needed to continually move that toward me so I could get all the way across. Time for round two. This quilt backing does not have as many deep creases, but you will still see my water bottle come out. Back at the table again. Let's get this done. From this angle, it looks like a very colorful tablecloth. Okay, the reason the hoodie came off is it was impeding me from getting underneath the quilt. It was catching and pulling and making problems, so it had to go. As you can see, I chose a little bit of a different approach with this one. There are still clamps on 2 or 3 corners, but not the whole quilt was clamped down. Halfway there. 2 down, 2 to go. Alright, you guys. I missed filming one of the quilts, but I did make some decisions in order to make things go a little bit faster. I did decide to spray baste the other two, including this one quilt, because it was faster. It took me about an hour for pin basting. It took me half that, 20 minutes or so, 30 minutes, to spray baste this for the top and the backing. So it just made my decision much, much easier. Plus, I really needed to get rid of the spray adhesive that's just sitting around my house. Wild quilt, wild backing. Finally, let's get some quilting done. But it was at this point I realized very quickly mistakes were made and decisions would definitely have to be changed. Second quilt attempt number 2. It is still not working out the way I wanted. It took me to the end of this quilt to figure out why. Now, the reason why that I had to change the foot again and go to free motion instead, one of my minions who likes to meddle and likes to tinker probably messed up my tension. I was so mad, y'all. So mad. So in the end, free motioning wound up being the easiest choice, the most time effective choice. So that is what I did. As of now, all the quilts are completely quilted and trimmed. Stick around for the next video. Keep an eye on the channel because we will be binding these quilts in short order. Y'all have a great day. Have a great week. We'll catch you in the next video.